Good evening, everybody. How are you? Good to see you. Good Wednesday night to everybody. It is Wednesday, September 14th. It's good to see you all. Welcome to our Wednesday night cruise chat Q&A with Walter. And of course, my wife, Rebecca, is sitting right off camera over here to the side. Hey, well, good morning. Hi, Kenneth. Boy, you're already here. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in. Welcome, welcome. So one of the big changes right now, Super Chats are now live, and it's kind of exciting for us. We finally crossed that magic 1,000 subscriber threshold recently. So now the whole channel can be monetized and all that good stuff. So that also means that Super Chats are now live. But welcome to the channel. As always, this is all about cruise and cruise travel, and especially if you are new to cruising or you're cruise curious. And hey, even if you've been a veteran cruiser like us for many years, join in the chat. If we can answer any questions for you, we can. If you got topics you want to talk about, let's talk about them. One very cool thing for us, well, actually, first of all, I am going to drop it in and say, if you are not in our Facebook group yet, we got a great little, we just crossed 200 in our group, and it's nice that the group is still kind of small, which is great. But, you know, the number one rule about that group is you got to be kind. And if you're not kind, you are kicked out of the group. So if you want to come over and join a really nice group of folks who are helping each other out, we have a wonderful family who's on their first cruise this week. They've been sharing pictures from the Royal Caribbean. It's so fabulous. It's actually the daughter's Sweet 16 party. So they're having the Sweet 16 party on the cruise, the very first cruise, and they're celebrating the daughter's birthday. So that is absolutely wonderful. Hey, Andrew. How are you? Good evening. Welcome to the chat. It is Wednesday night, September 14th. Thank you so very much for joining in. And as I said, if you're not in our Facebook group, please do come in. We also have a merch store now. Oh my God. I'm waiting for my shirts. I'm getting some shirts sent in, but we have some really fun merch in there. I've gone ahead and designed a few things. And then there's some other stuff in there, even some stuff from Gary Beveridge, actually. It's kind of cool. We can be affiliates for each other in there. There's all kinds of designs and things. There's really some fun stuff in there. If you're going on a cruise anytime soon and you really want to show off, you know, your love of cruising and things like that. And of course, we do have a Patreon channel as well. So if you want to help support the channel that way, always welcome for you guys to do that. But as always, it is Cruise Chat Q&A. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about the theme parks tonight, only because I'm just going to pop this up there. It's actually our anniversary today, like this day, this very day. 26 years since I said yes. She pursued me for years, and I finally said yes. You can hear her laughing in the background. It's just the other way around. It actually took me about 3 or 4 years to get her to say yes, which was something else. And last night we were at the Magic Kingdom. Actually, members of our Facebook group treated Rebecca and I to the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party last night. It was an absolutely lovely gesture. We were blown away, and we had an absolutely fabulous time last night into this morning. We didn't get home till 2 o'clock this morning because the party didn't end until about 12:30 this morning. So that was absolutely fantastic. So today is actually our wedding anniversary, and everybody was like, wait, you're still going to do the live? Like, yeah, we're celebrating last night anyway. So yeah, we're going to be here anyway. So we'll do the live. So welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining in. I'm going to lead off the discussion while I wait for you guys. If you got any questions or anything, this is actually an interesting little thing that just happened. You didn't see the story. Royal Caribbean Symphony of the Seas accidentally charged a couple $100,000 for a meal at Jamie's. Now, Jamie's Italian is pretty good, but it's definitely not worth $100,000. And what happened was the server accidentally entered like an ID number instead of the charge amount or something like that. And so it showed up as $100,000, and American Express actually ran it. And of course, Royal Caribbean caught it right away. You know, as soon as a couple said something, they're like, wait a minute. So they reversed the charge right away. But what was interesting is that the authorization from American Express stayed with the card. So that card was locked down. Like, even though Royal Caribbean said, oh yeah, we made a mistake, they credited back the $100,000, the card was still frozen because the authorization was still there. So they couldn't use the card for the rest of the week. Rebecca is holding up a note over here. Rebecca is saying that they actually had the ultimate dining plan. So they were actually just leaving a tip for the server, and it rang up as $100,000. And you know, unfortunately, I don't understand quite how credit cards work, because you would think if a charge was reversed, okay, you're good to go. But even though the charge was reversed, they said it takes something like 5 to 7 days for the authorization to clear, which honestly makes no sense to me. So even though the Royal Caribbean made the mistake, they quickly corrected it, but then the couple was still stuck, without a credit card to use. And like Rebecca was saying earlier, thank God they didn't use their check card, because could you imagine if they used their debit card, which is tied into your checking account? I mean, I don't know if they had $100,000 in their account anyway, but what I was very happy about was the couple did not blame the server. In fact, they went out of their way to say that the server was amazing. They gave great service. They had a wonderful meal. They know that it was a technical issue, but it doesn't make much sense to me on how credit cards work and why they would not be able to use their credit card for the rest of the cruise, but they were not able to. Kenneth, you booked your cruise this December 23rd through the 30th. You're going to be on Virgin. Awesome. So I don't know if I'm assuming you're going to be on Scarlet Lady, although Valiant will also be over here. That's awesome. You need to get insurance. Well, that's a good topic of discussion. If you have not seen it, we talked about it just previously. In Jamaica, a poor woman caught pneumonia on a Royal Caribbean ship. She had to be medically evacuated from the ship. She's in a Jamaican hospital right now, Montego Bay. Going to be there for 12 or 20 days. She has no medical or no travel insurance. So she's going to be on the hook for that. And her husband said to have medically evacuated her would have been $40,000, and it's money that they don't have. And, that's something that travel insurance could have helped with. So we always recommend now, as I have said in many of my TikToks and my YouTube channel, we book almost all of our cruises through Costco Travel. Now with Virgin Voyages, we went through Delta Cruises. Who did we get our insurance from because of that? We got it through Delta Cruises. Okay. So typically we get our insurance through Costco Travel. Now I did literally just post an episode yesterday right here on this YouTube channel that explains that whole situation in Jamaica. And then the second half of that video, or actually the second 2/3 of that video, I literally lay out our entire insurance policy, like the actual insurance policy that we have. And then I show you exactly how much it costs. Now for an independent research tool, insuremytrip.com. It's all one word, insuremytrip.com. That is where you want to go ahead and do some research in there. Now, some of the things to look at, there is emergency evacuation and repatriation of remains. And some of them will say like medical evacuation, and then you click in and that's where it will show the repatriation. So that's a little macabre because, we're talking about if you die, they will send the body back to the United States. I'll get there in a second. And by the way, hi, Sea Lake Journeys. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. But you do want to look at, how much coverage you have for emergency evacuation. We have $1 million. I remember that. And then you want to look at the medical expenses that will be paid. I believe we have $50,000. This is per person. We have $50,000 medical coverage. We have $1 million in medical evacuation. So that $40,000 flight to come back here to the United States to be treated, we potentially could have done that with our insurance. It would have been covered. And then one thing that I really recommend that you all look at is the pre-existing condition waiver. Now, even if you know whether you have a pre-existing condition or not, I think it's a good idea to go ahead and select that, because in the course of treating you, they may find something that was pre-existing, and then that just gives the insurance company an excuse to say, we're not going to pay you. We're not going to pay out as much, or we're not going to pay the whole thing because you have a pre-existing condition. So I would just go ahead and get that pre-existing condition waiver checked. Those are some of the big things you want to look at. But literally, I have about an 8-minute episode right here on YouTube that spells out our entire policy. I show you everything that's in our policy, and then I tell you exactly how much it costs. So Insure My Trip, all one word, is the website to look at. Now, the price that you're going to see that we paid, we get a really good price from Costco. And that's one of the big reasons why we book through Costco as much as we can, because we get more coverage for a better price than you will through, say, Insure My Trip. Like if you get that exact same coverage that I show you, it is more than likely going to be more expensive through Insure My Trip. But it's still not going to be that expensive relative to, say, a $40,000 flight to get out of Jamaica. What's Rebecca got here? For the Costco coverage, it is waived if you buy insurance within 21 days of booking the cruise. What does that mean? What's waived? Oh, the pre-existing coverage is waived if you book.
Pre-existing conditions
is waived if you what now?
You buy your insurance within 21 days of booking your cruise, and all pre-existing conditions are covered.
Oh, okay. Okay. So Rebecca is saying that if you book the cruise through Costco, if you get the insurance within 21 days of booking the cruise, then the pre-existing condition is just included. It's waived. You don't have to pay for it. So that's kind of a neat thing. Very cool. And again, another reason why we would book from them. But yes, and I can't emphasize enough that you do need insurance. The insurance for us costs less than 4% of the cost of the cruise. And some of the factors that are going to go into the pricing on Insure My Trip is going to be your age, going to be the cost, the overall cost of the cruise, the itinerary, because the itinerary comes into play because they have to factor in, well, if we have to fly you back from wherever. Like if our insurance is definitely cheaper in the Caribbean than it would be if we go to the Mediterranean, because the Mediterranean is a much longer flight to bring us back to the United States than say a flight from anywhere in the Caribbean. So they always have to factor those kind of things in. So there are going to be multiple factors. And I think if you take anywhere from say 4 trips or more per year, because travel insurance, not just for cruises, it can be for business travel, it can be for personal travel, it can be for all kinds of things. I think once you take 4 trips a year, they say you can start looking at an annual plan. So instead of buying it for each individual trip, you can just get one policy, just like your home and your auto, so that you just have it for the whole year, and it'll end up being cheaper. So if you really start getting into a lot of cruises, or you travel maybe 4 or 5 times a year, then I would seriously go ahead and take a look at the yearly policies to see if, hey, maybe that's going to work out more cost effective than just doing the individual trip. So that is awesome. That is awesome. And thank you for bringing that up. That is absolutely awesome. So once again, if you're not in our Facebook group, please go ahead and consider joining in the Facebook group. But welcome to our chat tonight. This is just an open chat, whatever you guys want to talk about. We're talking cruising. We're talking theme parks. We're talking everything. And of course, it's interesting. I had somebody ask a question on TikTok earlier today, and they said, this is a really dumb question. Look, there is no dumb question. That's why we're here. We're here to, answer whatever. This is always a safe space, whether you're here, whether you're on TikTok, whether you're on our Twitter feed. There are no dumb questions. So we're just happy. And if we're answering the same question for the 100th time, that's perfectly fine. We just want to make sure that you guys have the best information so you can make good informed decisions on whether or not to take a cruise and your very next cruise. So super chats are now open, so if you're interested in doing that, that would be awesome. I don't know if we got any Disney fans out here, but I'm actually rather excited about this. The Disney Treasure is coming out, which is very, very cool. I love Disney ships. I don't know if you guys love Disney ships like we do. Like, even if you don't cruise on them, when you see them in port, they're just stunning. They're absolutely gorgeous ships. They all look like ocean liners, which I really like. I like that old style of the ocean liner, especially that really pointed bow that comes way out. Love that. I just wish they weren't so dang expensive. We would go on them more often because the food is really good. The service is really good. Ships are beautiful. But the Treasure has been named, and she's going to have Jasmine, Aladdin, and riding on the magic carpet in the lobby. A friend of ours said, the lobby looked a little dark in the rendering. And when I went back and watched it again, yeah, it's very dark blue compared to what's out there right now. We didn't see the stern, but with Peter Pan flying around for the entire video, and it's called the Treasure, I'm assuming we're going to see Peter Pan, maybe Captain Hook on the stern. I'm really hoping that they'll do the thing, with TikTok with his mouth open and Hook is standing on him, trying not to get eaten. And then Peter Pan flying above. I think that would be kind of fun on the stern of the ship. Maybe Mr. Smee with the boat trying to catch up with him or something. But that would be kind of fun to see on there. But that's going to be the new ship. I don't know if you guys are Disney fans or not out there. They are expensive. I wish they weren't so expensive. But, people pay for it. So as long as people keep paying for those ships, they're going to, they're not going to drop the charges. I mean, it's called good business, right? Cheers, everybody. Oh, by the way, I forgot to say 101 days to Christmas. So if you haven't started your Christmas shopping yet, might be time to start your Christmas shopping, people. And once again, if you just joined in, it is our 26th anniversary. Rebecca and I have been married 26 years now. We've actually been together over 30, probably about 31 years now that we've been together. So it's been a very long time. We actually met at CNN in Atlanta. I still remember she came out. I was only there for a month or two. And on the weekends, we used to have to set up the sports set out in the studio. And I remember she came out to set up a microphone because Rebecca was a sound designer. And she had on a maroon top and these pants that had fish all over them. So I still remember that. I made no impression on her whatsoever. She doesn't remember that at all. But I remember meeting her for the first time. So, oh, this is funny. Kenneth, where did I find my I pooted tea in your that's actually from Atlanta. So I don't know if you know what that's from. That's actually from a animated show called Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. It used to be on the Cartoon Network. And there was a character on there called Cheese who appeared in, I think, 3 episodes. And that's the last thing he said in the very first episode that he was on. He was the brother to the main character, Blue. And it was literally the last thing he said. It was a big, heartwarming moment where the two of them are hugging. And then he says, I pooted right at the end. That became a billboard in Atlanta. And then the shirt. So my wife actually was working at CNN at the time, and she saw the shirt and she got it for me. And that was on Scarlet Night. That was the only red shirt I had. And what was brilliant about that was when I was walking down, I think they call it High Street, where the retail shops are. And when I was walking down High Street, 2 of the crew members just started laughing so hard because they knew exactly what it was and they loved it. So that made me feel great. So that is where I got the pooted tea. It actually came from Atlanta, came from a Turner store in Atlanta, Georgia. You might still be able to find them on Amazon or something like that. So I have no idea. Hi, Kelly. Welcome to the show. Thank you. You watched some of the live stream from Magic Kingdom. I assume you were watching probably Tristan over there, Balloon Guy. Did we ever get a picture with Elvis Stitch? So that was frustrating, to be honest with you. We did not. I waited about 35, 45 minutes the first time. And what was happening was Stitch was taking literally 5 minutes with every single person that was coming up. He was interacting. He was playing with them and it was kind of cute. But there were like, the first time we went there were definitely 100 people in line waiting. And he was just taking his time. So after about 35, 45 minutes, we hadn't moved very far, so we left. And then Rebecca and I came back about 11 o'clock, maybe like 11:15. And there were only about 30 of us in line, but Stitch was still doing the same thing. So after standing there for 10 minutes, there was still just one person had gone through. And I'm like, the party's going to run out. So no, we never did. But we had a fantastic time for our anniversary. We came home with 6 pounds of candy. That's always a good thing, right? And we saw the parade. We loved the parade. We saw the Sanderson sister show right there at the end, Hocus Pocus, and the fireworks show was fantastic. In fact, I brought my good camera last night because I really want to get some pictures. I have a beautiful Fuji X-T3, and I put it into high speed mode. So I would, every time I push the shutter, it would fire off like 10 shots. And I think I shot something like 1,800 photographs last night. But that was just because, I was just firing it through. So, oh, Kenneth, hey, thank you so much. That's the first one. You are the first one to give us a super chat. Yay. Oh, I'm going to give you a cheer. Oh, I didn't even show you the mug. This is actually a very fun mug. There were either 1 or 2 people dressed up as the seagulls last night from Nemo. That was really fun. Kenneth, cheers to you. Thank you so much. Very, very kind. And if you don't know, I honestly didn't know what super chats are. Super chats are a way of you donating some money to the channel and stuff like that. And it does help us. Obviously, we'd like to keep doing this kind of stuff, and we want to start bringing you some more stuff and going on to more ships and things like that. So, Kenneth, you are the very first one. We will have to print that out. Maybe put it up on the wall behind us, just like that first dollar that stores always do. So, Kenneth, thank you very much. We are touched. Thank you. Christy, hi. How are you? Good to see you. Good evening from Texas. Galveston. No, you're not in Galveston. That's where the port is. But welcome from Texas. Good to see you. So, yes, it is our anniversary, and we are doing Cruise Chat Live. So if you got any questions, you got any concerns, anything you guys want to talk about, I've got things to talk about, but if you guys have things to talk about, let's hear it. And as always, my wife, Rebecca, is sitting right off camera over here. She does not like to be on camera. She does have a microphone. So one day she will talk, but not today, probably. But it's good to see everybody tonight. Yay. Thank you. Mission, Texas. Oh, that's where you are. You're in Mission, Texas. Very, very cool. Well, welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. Christy is also one of the moderators in our Facebook group. She's been there ever since day one. And she went on her very first cruise recently, partly because of what we're doing here. And it was wonderful to watch her journey as she went on her first cruise. And now we've got more people out there taking their first cruises. So that makes me feel so good. I want to say we're up to about 20 people now who have told me that they've taken their first cruise because of what we're doing. And at least half of them said we never would have considered a cruise until we started hearing what you had to say. Again, I just try to present honest information to all of y'all. So it is good. Oh, no way. We got a couple of Texas people going on. Corpus Christi. That is so awesome. That is so awesome. Texas has been good to us. We used to live in Conroe, just north of Houston. So we were there for just under a year. In fact, right before we came back here to Florida, we were over there. So Kelly. Oh, so you got so Kelly's saying she got an email from Princess this week. The future cruise credits are being extended until September 2023. That is awesome. I don't know why everybody just doesn't do what Celebrity did. Recently Celebrity, was it Royal Caribbean too, or just Celebrity?
I think so.
Yeah, so Rebecca thinks of both Royal Caribbean and Celebrity announced that there's no expiration on them now. They will just...
They've changed.
Oh, they have changed that again now? Oh, is it the ones from the pandemic? Or on it?
I get confused on
okay. So there are some that they've extended forever. So yeah. Rebecca's going to write some notes down. You should just tell us. I'm
trying to figure out how.
Well, you know what? We can get that. I don't know. I confused her. I am so sorry.
No, I'm not confused.
But she's trying to explain. She's trying to figure out the best way to explain it. And I'm not helping by talking, but I'm just going to keep on talking because that's what I have to do. I got to keep talking to you all. So while she's figuring that out, why don't I bring up another little topic of discussion, which I think is kind of cool. Well, I don't know if it's kind of cool, but it's interesting. So Bermuda is like the one Caribbean country that is hanging on to the restrictions. You have to have a test within 44 hours of traveling to Bermuda. And that works just fine for US-based cruises because they can just make the very first stop going into Bermuda. So you can get tested, before you leave on your cruise, and then you're good to go. But for the transatlantic cruises, which is the TAs, 5 cruises have canceled their stops in Bermuda because they would have to test like everybody on board to make it happen. And I guess the cruise lines have been, negotiating with Bermuda to say, look, you're the last ones holding on to this. Can we loosen up these rules so we can bring our passengers in? And so far, Bermuda's holding on to it. So 5 cruises from Celebrity Beyond, Celebrity Silhouette, Celebrity Edge, Norwegian Sun, and Celebrity Reflection. These are all repositioning cruises coming over from Europe, bring the ship to Florida. They were all scheduled to stop in Bermuda as part of those trips. Those stops have now been called off because, again, you're talking, gosh, between those ships, we're probably looking at maybe 12,000, 14,000 people that would all have to be tested just to get off at one port. So they've all said, you know what, it'll be easier for us to go to a different port, change the port out versus, going there. And it'll be interesting to see, what happens, whether the cruise lines are able to, convince Bermuda to say, hey, let's do this. I mean, you got to respect it. They are their own nation. They can do what they want to do to make sure that their people are safe. In this case, and it may not be any big deal for them. It's just like, oh, these are just 5 ships. There are plenty of ships coming in from the US. So this may not be that big of a deal. Easy enough for these cruise lines to go ahead and change and go off to another location. But it is interesting to see something like this happen. So I'm going to go back to Kelly now because Rebecca has something that she wrote here. So what Rebecca does, she gives me notes for me to read here on camera. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can read this for you. But according to her, with Royal Caribbean and Celebrity, from what she understands, if you use your future cruise credit for a cruise, probably still no expiration, but any remaining amount will be onboard credit. So she's not sure if it's just a pandemic or also cruise with confidence. So Royal Caribbean and Celebrity have done something to kind of loosen the rules to help people because they knew that, especially if you got the credit early in this whole thing. Obviously it took almost 2 years for everything to get restarted. So people's credit were running out. So they were doing some extensions and whatnot. But that is really good for Princess to go ahead and extend it in the next year. I mean, that's the way it should be. You did pay. So they really, really should allow you to use your future cruise credit. I mean, I think it should be like a 5-year thing. It's your money. So I think you should get to use it. So yeah, that's good. But that is really good. We enjoy Princess. We have not been on Princess in a while. Actually, they were our last cruise before the pandemic. The Crown Princess was, right. Yeah, it was Crown Princess, I think. Oh, there might have been one other. But we do enjoy Princess, and we recommend Princess. It's a nice cruise line. It's kind of a classic cruise line. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but one of the things I really, really like about Princess, they have great original shows. They have some of the better original shows at sea, I think. Celebrity has some of the weaker original shows, at least on the Solstice class. We're not a big fan of some of the shows on there, like Elysium and things like that. We're not a big fan. They had a show called Max, which is weird. It was just very weird. So, but that's very cool. Yeah. So, actually, we went on the Equinox in September 2019. That's right. That's right. So it was the Crown Princess and the Celebrity Equinox, which is a great ship, by the way. If you've not been on the Celebrity Equinox, it is an absolutely fantastic ship. It is the one ship that Celebrity keeps here in Florida year round. It is a year-round Caribbean ship. And one of the cool things about it, it has glass blowing, like actual glass blowing on the ship itself. One of the coolest activities you will get to do on any cruise ship, because there's only 3 cruise ships that I know of that have glass blowing on the ship itself, and they are 3 of the Celebrity. In fact, they're the first 3 Celebrity Solstice class ships that came out. The last 2 have the Lawn Club Grill, or I don't know if it's still called the Lawn Club Grill, but they have a restaurant instead of the glass blowing right there. So that is one of the coolest things that you can do on a cruise ship. And it's just kind of bizarre. You're on a ship, you're out in the ocean, and like you're blowing glass. It's just absolutely freaking amazing. It's awesome. Highly recommend Celebrity. Highly recommend the Equinox. We have not been on the Edge class yet. Really, really want to go on the Edge class. Really, really want to go on the Edge class badly. So, but yeah, so any questions you guys have, go ahead and bring them up. Anything you want to talk about. And of course, the super chat is now live. Now, another cruise ship coming out very soon. The Carnival Celebration. Are you all excited about this? This is going to be another beautiful ship. We went on the Mardi Gras. We went on her sister and had a great time on the Mardi Gras, our very first Carnival cruise. And I'll be honest, we're not that impressed with the Carnival ships when we saw them in port, the older ones. And then the Vista and the Horizon came out. We're like, oh, we like these ships. And then the Mardi Gras came out, and we had a family cruise. And the whole family decided we're going to go on the Mardi Gras. So we did. And it was actually a lovely experience going on the ship. Well, now the Celebration is coming, and she just completed her sea trials. The interesting thing about sea trials is that the ship is still in the possession of the shipyard. Carnival does not control that ship yet. When all of this is said and done, they will actually get control of the ship. And from what I understand, from what Captain Kate explained when Beyond was going through her sea trials, the captain gets 1 hour to do whatever they want with the ship. So the ship could be out there for 5 to 10 days, depending on what all they need to do. They check the engines, they check vibration, they check all kinds of things. Oh, they see how long it takes for the ship to stop. There's like all these things that they have to do. But then they will give the captain 1 hour to do whatever they want with the ship. And she did donuts. That's what she did. But the shipyard is actually still in control of it. So the captain is only there to observe. The Carnival engineers and crew are only there to observe. They don't touch the ship. The shipyard still has absolute control of that ship until everything is completely done. And then there will be a handover just before the ship sails out of the shipyard for the last time. So that was an interesting thing. I didn't realize. I always thought, until I saw Captain Kate, I just assumed that the captain had control of the ship. They were running the sea trials, but it's not. It is all done by the shipyard. And then there are observers on the ship from the Coast Guard and every other agency and all of that good stuff. But she has completed the sea trials. And so far, she's still on schedule for the November 6th maiden voyage. Now, we always recommend that, or we never recommend that you actually book that maiden voyage because it can slide. As we have seen of late, the Disney Wish was late. The Prima was late. The Viva has already canceled, I think, a month or two's worth of sailings for next year when she comes out. But right now, so far, the Carnival Celebration is still on track to go ahead and sail on November 6th. She will be doing 14 nights from Southampton to come to her home port in Miami. And then she will be sailing from Miami. Now, I've got some friends already who I think are on a New Year's Eve sailing on this particular ship. I got some other friends who are on a New Year's Eve sailing on the Scarlet Lady. So I'm very jealous of that. Actually, no, I take that back. They're on the Valiant. They're on the 7-night Valiant, lady. So I'm very jealous of that. Any of y'all sailing for the holidays? I'd actually be very curious to know if any of y'all are sailing for the holidays.
Well,
What?
Kenneth Lee is.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Kenneth is right. Yeah, Kenneth is doing
Christmas.
well, yeah, you're doing Christmas. That'll be nice. I wonder what Christmas is going to be like on Virgin Voyages. That's going to be cool. Kenneth, I think you're in our Facebook group, right? So yeah, you're gonna have to post some pictures. I want to know what that ship looks like for Christmas. That is going to be very, very cool. But this is exciting. I mean, I don't know if you guys are excited about this. I really like. So on the Mardi Gras, they have the French Quarter area, but on the celebration, they turned it into, like, I think they call it the terminal, so it celebrates travel. I like that more. I think it's a better use of space than the French Quarter on the Mardi Gras. So I think that's going to be a really, really awesome thing. So, question for everybody: do you get dressed up for dinner, or do you prefer staying casual? Curious. And that's whatever. If you're going to a restaurant, if obviously everybody's going to stay casual if you're going to the buffet, but if you're going to a restaurant, if you're going to the main dining room, going to a restaurant on the ship, do you get dressed up, or do you just simply like to stay casual? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? Yeah. Kenneth, 7-day cruise. Yeah, you're going to be out on cruise. I can't wait, man. I can't wait. That should be nice. So we were scheduled, actually, out of Galveston, Texas. We were scheduled to be on the Jewel of the Seas from Royal Caribbean. We were going to be out for Christmas and New Year's, one cruise, 10 nights, I think, 10 or 11 nights. So one cruise was going to be both holidays, but that was in 2020 during the pandemic. So obviously we never went out on that one. And the rescheduled cruise, originally we were supposed to be going to the Norwegian fjords. We should have already been there right now. But we had to cancel that again because of the situation going on here. And then now we're going on the Symphony of the Seas in December. We're going to be coming back right before Christmas, actually, which is kind of ironic. We come back on Christmas Eve. December 24th is when we return. So do you like to get dressed up for dinner, or do you prefer staying casual? Christy is saying, on formal nights you dressed up, and on other nights we were just comfortable in the main dining room. Okay, that works. Kelly is saying she is casual all the way. You don't do the formal nights in the dining room. Yeah, it's funny. I think the formal night, I can't really tell which way it's going. It seems like on most ships, the formal nights are really scaling back. Like the really older people, they're still getting into their suits. I still see a couple of tuxedos from time to time. Now on Celebrity, I'll see more tuxedos. On Celebrity, I'll see that. And on Princess, I think you see a few more tuxedos. And probably on those two ships, like Princess, Celebrity, you will see more people dress up for formal night. Whereas like on Carnival, formal night doesn't look much different than the rest of the cruise, to be honest with you. You will see some people, but there won't be a lot. So it probably has a lot to do with the cruise line too. Obviously on Cunard, they have a serious dress code, so you better be dressed up in a tux or a suit or whatever it is that they require for formal nights. I keep going back and forth on whether, I know Rebecca is like, I don't know if I want to do Cunard. I think it would be neat to do it one time, just to go on the ship one time and see it and do that. Kenneth is saying Valiant Lady casual for you. Yeah, so Virgin is very casual. You can wear shorts and a t-shirt to any dinner. As you saw, I was wearing the Iputa shirt to the Pink Agave that night. It was literally the only red shirt that I had for Scarlet Night. But yeah, you can be very casual. So yeah, Celebrity, I wouldn't say that they're extremely formal because I wear jeans and a button-down shirt to dinner at both Princess and Celebrity, because for a long time you had to wear slacks, but once they said you can wear dress jeans, that's it. I wear dress jeans and I wear a button-down shirt to dinner, either a short sleeve button-down shirt or a long sleeve button-down shirt. But you will see more. I think you will see more people go into that formal direction. Yeah, they're a great cruise line, and I really love Celebrity. I think Celebrity's got a great vibe, and honestly, I've talked about this before too. That's the Virgin Voyages vibe. It really reminds me of Celebrity Cruise Lines when we went on there. I was really surprised at how much it reminded me of Celebrity. But if you really like Celebrity, you may like Virgin. If you haven't tried Virgin Voyages yet, you may want to give them a try. It's a really cool vibe on this ship. Kenneth is going to have an amazing time. Of course, Kenneth, you're going on the Valiant. We went on Scarlet, so it'll be interesting to hear the differences between Valiant and Scarlet and what your experiences are. I don't know if I mentioned it since you said you were going on the ship, but one of the strategies that I would follow the next time that we go on Virgin voyages, especially out of Miami, because it is a late sail away, is I would set dinner later that first night, because we didn't get on the ship till 2:30, and then we immediately went to the dock where I just pigged out on the amazing tapas that they had there, and then we had like a 6:30 dinner reservation, which was too early. I was still I was still kind of like full from having all those tapas, so I would set dinner the first night probably as late as like 8:30, just because you're coming on so late. And the first thing you always do when you get on a cruise ship, you go eat. Doesn't matter what time you get on a cruise ship, you're going to go eat something, right? So that would be my advice for the first night on a Scarlet Lady cruise or a Virgin Voyages cruise going out of Miami. Set that first night dinner maybe an hour later than you would typically eat, because you will be coming on so late. Typically, you're on the ship at like 11:30, maybe noon. So you have, your snack and whatnot, and then it's like 6 or 7 hours later for dinner. And here it's only like 4 hours later for dinner. So, Christy, you're saying that you only got dressed up so you can get a good family photo. That's about the only time you're going to get the kids dressed up, right, for the photo. So that's fantastic. That's a good reason. Kids, you have to dress up. It's formal night, so just use it against them. That you can get them all dressed up for the photo. I love that. I absolutely love that. That's fantastic. Yeah, might as well, right? And since we're talking about that, getting dressed up for dinner or not, I'm just curious, what's the best dinner you've had at sea? For those of you who have cruised so far, what is the best dinner you have had at sea? I mean, that's part of why I cruise. And I just did a foodies guide right here on YouTube. I just did a foodies guide to cruise lines. And one of the things that I talk about in there is that you have to set your expectations accordingly. I'll have a really good time on Royal Caribbean and Carnival, but I know that the food level may or may not be, say like a Disney or a Virgin Voyages, but you just have to set your expectation. Like, I love Shaq's chicken. Oh my God, Shaq's Big Chicken on Carnival. It's like some of the best chicken sandwiches I've ever had, but it's fast food. But I was addicted to it. I love it. I love all food. I am the guy that's going to go, get that $1 taco. It's really good. Or, I'll pay $150 per person to go have a dinner, but it just better be good food. That's all I care about. I just want it to be good food. I want it to be enjoyable food, and I want it to be worth whatever I paid, and if I feel like I got more than I paid for, then that's even better. But I'm kind of curious, for those of you who have cruised, what is the best dinner you've had at sea? I don't want to give away the number one in our foodie video, because, it has to do with a little rat. Oh, come on. Nobody's going to tell me what your best dinner was at sea? Kelly, you said you've been on Princess and Celebrity. Surely you've had a good meal at sea. Christy, what was your best meal at sea? Come on. I want to hear what your good meals are so far. Some of our top meals, I will say, Virgin Voyages tied for second. 3 of the restaurants on there tied for second. And what's so brilliant about Virgin is they're all included. So it's not like we had to pay anything extra for those. Whereas all the other meals that are in our top whatever, they are our top 7. We had to pay anywhere from, say, $38 up to $125 per person or more. Whereas Virgin Voyages has 3 of the top meals we've ever had, and we didn't pay anything extra than just the fare. Now, our friend did pay $60 some to get his tomahawk steak, which was insanely good, but there was no reason to pay for it. You didn't have to. They had lovely steaks on the ship as well. But
they had a lot of onboard credit to use up.
Yeah, that's true. He had a lot of onboard credit to use up. We had a lot of onboard credit to use, sailor loot, as they call it. I ended up buying alcohol to bring home instead of the steak. I bought 2 or 3 bottles of alcohol to bring home. That's what I did. I was like, that's a better use of my money than just having a steak. Darn it. Rana, are you going on to the Disney Fantasy or the Dream? Because Remy is it, man. Remy is that. I mean, there is no better meal at sea right now. In fact, there may not even be a better meal on land either, because we've been to Victoria and Albert's here at Disney World, and that blew me away. Celebrity Edge. Oh, sushi on 5. Sushi. We like sushi. We have been going there, like, literally, I think it came out. They called it Sushi on 5 like a month before we got on the ship or something like that. They just introduced it, and it's been one of our favorites on Celebrity ever since. So, Kenneth, you are going to let us know after your adventure. Awesome. Please do. Oh, so you're going on the that's the ship we went on. That's where we had our meal. Absolutely amazing dinner. So, yes, I'm glad you've got the Remy booked. I want to hear back from you when you come back. If you're not in our Facebook group, please come join the Facebook group. I'm going to pop it up on the screen right now. If any of you are not in our Facebook group, please come over and join us in the Facebook group. That's where it is. Come join us. Because I want to see your Remy dinner. Kenneth, I want to see your trip on the Valiant Lady. I'm not nosy at all, but I want to see your trips. I want to see what y'all are doing. It's just so awesome. But yeah, come join us over there. Chrissy. Hey, Chrissy, how are you? Good to see you tonight. You love the escargot on the Disney ships. I always look forward to it, but it looks like the Wish doesn't. Well, you don't know. I don't know if the Wish has it or not. I haven't looked at all the menus. It could be one of those special things. One of my favorite things about the escargot is that garlic butter that sits in and it gets some bread and you start dunking it in there. Oh my God, it's so freaking good. I love it. Yeah, I didn't really like the way Carnival did it. If you go watch my video that we eat almost everything at Carnival, I had the escargot in the main dining room and it came out and it almost looked like a creme brulee. It's like how they served it. You know, most cruise lines have like the 6 little things and the escargot sitting in the garlic butter and each of the little 6 holders. That's the way I like it. And then you get all that garlic butter. So it's absolutely amazing. So Christy, you're saying for us, what we regret, we never took pictures of our meal. Hey, you were having a good time eating. So you didn't have to take any pictures of it. So that's fantastic. But I'm glad you really enjoy. You know, the main dining room is so hit or miss on so many ships. So I'm glad to hear that you had a good experience in the main dining room on Liberty. I keep wanting to say Independence, but Liberty of the Seas. I'm glad you had an excellent time on the Liberty of the Seas. Andrew, how is escargot cooked? That's a good question. I haven't cooked it yet. I don't know. You know, my grandmother, this is how I hadn't had it when I was a kid. My grandmother used to make that. She used to make frog's legs. And I want to say she boiled it in a pot of water, kind of like the clams. I bet she had some wine in there, some garlic, things like that. But the way that they serve it is typically a small bowl, you know, about this size. And there's 6 little like mini cups in the plate. And the escargot is sitting in, there's 1 piece in each of the 6 things. And it's sitting like in garlic butter. So, and then you just eat it. So I'm not exactly sure if it's boiled or if it's broiled or how they cook it, but it's good. It's really, really good. Kelly, and I'm sorry, I'll look it up one of these days. I'll tell you. Or Rebecca may be looking it up right now. In fact, she is. She's looking it up off camera to see how to cook escargot. So this will be fun. Palo was wonderful as well. Yeah, so we did brunch at Palo, and that was definitely good. I mean, Remy blew it away, but Palo is good. And it's interesting how Palo is pretty much on every single ship. That is the Italian restaurant on every single ship. I think she's even on the Wish as well. But yeah, I'd be surprised if they don't have escargot on the Wish. That would be interesting. That would be totally interesting. But yeah, chocolate souffle. So they have a molten chocolate cake on Carnival. And our friend Stephanie said, oh, you should get them to bring you some peanut butter when you get that. And then you take the peanut butter and you put it into the cake and it just like melts into the cake. I was like, oh, why did you tell me this after I got off the ship? Why didn't you tell me this before I got on the ship? So for those of you who are getting a hot souffle or a hot molten chocolate cake, maybe ask for a little bit of peanut butter, take a spoon of that and just put it into the cake with it. And you've got peanut butter and chocolate going. Okay, so going back to Andrew, I've got the note from Rebecca here. How is escargot cooked? The recipe that Rebecca is looking at, you put the garlic butter in pastry bag and pipe into shells and then bake. So that's not how they do it on the cruise ships, but that's how she's seeing it. She's got a bake recipe, but on the cruise ship they don't bake it. Well, no, it's just literally sitting in garlic butter, the way they serve it.
But if you bake it, then it's going to melt and be.
Yeah, I mean, it may be very well that they put it in the butter with the garlic and then just stick it under a broiler and just cook it that way. Because the plate is always piping hot. So, but there you go. Chrissy, the chocolate souffle is always recommended. Yes. I mean, why not? You know, molten chocolate souffle. Again, if you're on the Carnival ship and you're in the main dining room, definitely that chocolate molten cake go for it. And, like Stephanie said, get a spoonful of peanut butter and mix it in with it. Oh, that sounds absolutely. I'm going to do that next time I get one of those. Hey, Tristan, good to see you. Thanks again for last night in the Magic Kingdom. That was absolutely fantastic. Andrew, you tried frog's legs. If they are prepared badly, it's the same thing with calamari. If you get bad calamari, it's going to be rubber. It'll like bounce. It does not taste good at all. But my grandmother used to make frog's legs, and if they're done right, it should taste like chicken. So, so maybe you just didn't have the best frog's legs. So, but yeah. But, good for you for trying. Hey, Andy, good to see you, Andy. But, Andrew, good for you for trying. That is one of the biggest things about cruising. Try stuff that you've never had before, especially if it's included, or even if you are paying for a specialty meal. Because unlike a restaurant where they might get PO'd that you send something back, the cruise lines are used to it. They are prepared for it. And your server has absolutely no issue if you're like, I really don't like this. Could I get something else? Absolutely. What would you like instead of this thing? And they will go get it and bring it out for you. Yeah, Tristan and Andrew. So Tristan and Andra were on Royal Caribbean Mariner of Seas recently, and they tried the escargot, did not like it, but they did try it. So that's what it's all about. You try it, and if you don't like it, don't eat it. But a cruise line is a perfect chance to try new things. You really should just go out of your comfort zone and try new things. Yeah, last night was an absolute blast, Tristan. I had a ball. We were at the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. In fact, I have one clip here of the Haunted Mansion that was actually super, super cool. I'm going to play that for you right here. But what they did was they put a bunch of dry ice and mist. Well, it wasn't dry ice, whatever the smoke was. Look at the smoke coming off the Haunted Mansion. It was so foggy. All of the staff was in total costume inside. They had makeup. That none of them smiled. Not a single person in the Haunted Mansion smiled last night. They were all in character. It was absolutely fantastic. So this was the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween last night. That's really like the only video I shot. I shot thousands of photographs with my good camera. But thank you to everybody at everybody in our Facebook group. They actually sent us to the party as a thank you for everything that we do with Where's Walter TV. So thank you so much to everybody there. Like I've said, we have a heck of a group there, and it is absolutely a lovely group. And I'm just so incredibly proud and so incredibly thankful that you all appreciate what we're doing here. We're just having fun. I'm trying to encourage you all to go take cruises and whatnot. And I'm just happy that you all, seem to like what we're doing. And on that note, throw out another one to everybody out there. So we have so many cruise ships out there coming. I did a video right here on YouTube. I think there's 75 ships coming out between right now and the end of 2027. 75 new cruise ships between now and 2027 that we know of. There are more coming, but so far we know there's 75 brand new ships coming out between right now. That includes the Prima, that includes the Celebration. But what cruise line and or ship are you really looking forward to trying out? I would love to know what you all want to start doing. Tristan says the Seascape, the MSC Seascape is coming out very, very shortly. She will be based in Florida. Chrissy's saying you've never done Disney World during any of the holidays. So the interesting thing about the holidays, for the parties, they have a big, in Disney World, they have a big Halloween party and they have a big Christmas party. And every single cast member last night said the Halloween party is better. And, number one, it's a little bit cheaper. Number two, you get candy. We got 6 pounds of candy last night. But they said the parades are better. The fireworks show is better. They said everything about the Halloween show is actually better than the Christmas. Now, the Christmas one is the one that sells out. And the other interesting thing about the holidays with Disney World, the Magic Kingdom is the least decorated of all of them. I was actually disappointed. Last year, we made a point of going to all 4 parks in December just to go see the decoration because we are annual pass holders. So we decided just go walk around and go see. And so the Mickey, the Halloween.
Sold out.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Halloween party is sold out this year, so you can't go even if you wanted to. But the Magic Kingdom basically has decoration down Main Street, and then they don't have any more decorations at all really throughout the park. Whereas Hollywood Studios had decorations throughout the park. Animal Kingdom was really, they had some of the coolest decor, and then the whole park was decorated. And even Epcot, because they have the Festival of the Holidays. But, you know, Magic Kingdom, which you think would just be Christmas Central, it's just Main Street. And once you get off Main Street, you wouldn't even know it was Christmas. So that was actually the most disappointing. But it is, you know, beautiful to be here during the holidays. You know, it is. And, you know, sometimes at night, especially the Christmas party, they will have snow blowing at night down Main Street, which is a lot of fun. Sometimes they'll have it just, you know, like if it's open late and after the fireworks go off, sometimes they'll have snow as you're walking out, which is kind of fun. Yeah, Tristan, New Year's Eve is included with because it's just a regular park hours. There is no New Year's Eve party. It is just simply the park hours, and then they will do another fireworks show at midnight to celebrate. Same thing with Epcot. I believe that's one of the few nights Epcot is actually open to midnight as well. They will do a big New Year's Eve countdown there. I would probably not go to Disney World during New Year's Eve because it is absolutely insane. But yeah, and our passes don't cover it anyway. But back to the cruise ships. What ships are you all looking forward to? Or maybe cruise line are you all looking forward to? If you have not seen any of Danny Harr's videos from the Prima, oh my God. When he has a video just on the Haven area, and when you see the outdoor Haven area with the pool, which by the way, the pool extends beyond the railing. You know, usually the pools go right up to the railing. Well, here they split the railing and the pool actually extends out. So there's nothing between you and the ocean. So you're sitting in this infinity pool and literally there's just nothing there. It looks like there's a net underneath if you were to fall over, but literally there's no railing. There's nothing obstructing your view looking out the ocean. And when I saw that, I said, that's what the Scarlet Lady and Virgin Voyages should have on all of their ships because it's rounded. That design, I mean, all Virgin Voyages has to do is look at that design and go, hey, when we go into dry dock, let's put that on the back of our ship. That would be absolutely stunning on the back of on the ship. So Christy's saying your next cruise will be on the Disney Wish. That's awesome. That is awesome. I can't wait to see what it's all about. We know that they're making some changes to it. There's some new things coming to it that we've heard about that should be coming. That should be awesome. The new Frozen show looks really cute. The Frozen dinner in Arendelle, that looks absolutely freaking adorable. Mark, you're going to be on the second sailing of Carnival Celebration. Oh, so you're going to be on the first Miami sailing. Awesome. So after she comes over. So the one thing that I am afraid of, though, is that Carnival is continuing to have staffing issues. And when the Mardi Gras launched, they pulled staff from the other ships. So not only was the Mardi Gras understaffed, but the other ships were even more understaffed. I'm hoping they're getting their staffing back up because now you're about to have another really big ship plus the Carnival Luminosa coming in. Of course, that's going to be over in Europe. That's not really going to affect U.S. operation. I'm really hoping they're not going to stretch Mardi Gras and Celebration even further. I've seen some people, there's been rounds of a Carnival employee who posted a video on YouTube talking about the conditions they're working on right now. So I'm hoping with the Celebration coming out right now, I'm hoping they're finally getting staffing up so they'll be in better shape. So, but that's exciting though. I'm very jealous. I want to see, Mark, are you in our Facebook group? I don't know everybody's names yet. But if you're not in our Facebook group, please do make sure you come on over and join because I want to see the pictures. I want to see what that ship really, really looks like when you're on there and see all of that. That will be absolutely freaking fantastic to see that. So Andy, what do I think is a good ship for Christmas? Anything.
The one you can afford.
Yeah, whichever one you want to go on. Who cares? It's Christmas time, right? Well, you know, if you want to stay away from kids, you know, because Christmas is a big time for families to be on the ships, then I would be looking at Princess, Celebrity, Holland America.
Or longer cruises.
You know, they are going to have far fewer children because they don't have all that outdoors bells and whistles. Now, there will be a lot more children relative to what they normally have. But if you don't mind having the kids, you know, certainly some of the bigger Norwegian ships that have the go-karts and things like that are going to be kind of cool. You know, your Royal Caribbeans, like the Quantum class would be awesome. That's the one that has the bumper cars and the iFly. But if it was me booking for Christmas, Hey, no problem, Mark. I'm probably going to set up a Discord. So in fact, I do have a Discord set up. I just don't know how to use it yet. So once I get Discord going, you can come on over and join us in Discord as well. But if I were booking for Christmas, if it was me, I would probably look at Virgin Voyages just because I know it's going to be all adults. And then second behind that, it would probably be a celebrity ship. Probably what I would do. One of those two, if it's me booking for Christmas. But I don't know what you're looking for. I don't really know what, if you're looking for a lot more to do and other things to do. Hey, Mark Serini, you're doing the Wonder in 35 days. This is very exciting for these guys. They are going to do the Wonder of the Seas first in the Mediterranean, then they're going to ride it back across on a transatlantic coming back to Florida. So that's a very exciting way to do the cruises as well. And you said you've done Christmas on the Oasis. Awesome. So yeah, Andy, honestly, really any ship for Christmas. Rebecca just made a note too. If you do a longer cruise, anything longer than 7 nights, usually going to have fewer kids on it because it's harder for the parent to take the kids for longer than a week. So if you take like a 10-night cruise for Christmas, I don't know if you heard me earlier, but we were supposed to have taken one cruise that was like 10 or 11 nights. It was going to be Christmas and New Year's. So there would have been fewer children on that just because it was a longer cruise. So generally, the longer the cruise that you go, the less kids there's going to be. The decoration, that is so hit or miss, even within the same cruise line. So I can't comment to you on that. I can tell you we were on Freedom of the Seas for Thanksgiving. They had a big, massive tree set up. And they're all going to be decorated. Like on Royal Caribbean, the ship that have the promenade, those promenades are going to be all decorated for Christmas. And that's really, really nice. And that's really where you're going to see the most decor. You're not going to see decor everywhere. You're going to see some decoration in the buffet. You're going to see some decoration in the main dining room. But it's not going to be like New York City at Christmas where like everything gets decorated. The ships don't go all out like that. But you will usually get like Disney is probably going to be the most decorated, especially in the lobby, just because. But you're probably going to pay $10,000 to go on that Christmas cruise. I mean, there's just no way around that. But in terms of an overall Christmas feel, probably the family cruise lines are going to be more of it just because they want to appeal to the kids. So like on Celebrity, there'll probably be some sophisticated decor. They almost all will have a Christmas tree somewhere. They almost all will have a menorah somewhere, but it's not going to be over-the-top decor. Where you'll see over-the-top decor is actually going to be on all the doors. Everybody like decorates up their doors for Christmas in the hallways. So not any ship will have over-the-top Christmas decor. But Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, Carnival, they're probably going to have the most just because it is the fantasies. There you go. Chrissy said she did the Disney Dream for the holidays. They decorate a big gingerbread house in the lobby, and the characters all dressed up. So they did the big gingerbread thing. So that's very similar to what they do here in the resorts. All of the resorts will build a big gingerbread house. So that's cool. I've not heard of anybody else doing that. I have heard of like gingerbread houses, but not like the big one like they do in Disney. But there you go, Andy. So if you want to spend some serious money, go on a Disney ship. You can get that. Mark is saying Christmas tree out of pineapples. Absolutely. So, but yeah, everybody is going to have Christmas decor for sure. It's just generally not over the top. Disney will definitely be most over the top. The Disney ship the Royal Caribbean ship that have a promenade, those will generally be the most decorated of the entire ship. And then they'll just have fun stuff all around. And of course, sometimes the waiters and the servers and whatnot will be, dressed up in holiday colors and things like that. But the cruise ship don't generally go way over the top because they also know that they're serving a varied clientele as well. So you'll see that they don't have Christmas cruises. They have holiday cruises. So they know that they're serving a varied clientele. So they generally don't go over the top with Christmas. Disney is one of the few that definitely will go over the top with Christmas. But yeah, it just depends on what you're looking for. And, if it's me, like I said, I'd probably go on Virgin Voyages just because I know there's going to be no kids on it. I really enjoyed I don't mind having the kids, but boy, I really did enjoy having no kids on that ship. That was really, really nice just to do that. And we were able to do things a lot earlier that typically, the night show at 10 o'clock, they're going to do the adult comedy show. Well, they could do the adult comedy show at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock. It didn't matter because there were no kids on the ship. So that definitely a lot of fun. But yeah. Well, that's good. Oh, let me see what we got here. Maybe you'll stay on land for that. Well, you could always do that. One of the coolest ways to get your Christmas on, especially if you want to get your Disney on, is go to Disney Springs. Come on down here to Orlando, go to Disney Springs. SeaWorld is certainly done up for Christmas. That is the cheapest of all of the parks here in Orlando, and they have like 8 roller coasters now. They got really good roller coasters. I can tell you that. I'm a big roller coaster fan. Velocicoaster, it's still number 1. Guardians at the Epcot's number 2, and then they've got Mako, they've got Manta, and Kraken is my favorite at SeaWorld. I have not done the Icebreaker yet. I have another one coming next year. So SeaWorld is actually a very, very affordable theme park here in Florida, especially if you are a fan of roller coasters. So there is that. But a land-based vacation is more or less going to be cheaper probably than a lot of the cruises. But yeah, I mean, since we have not been on one yet, I can just tell you that you will have some decor, but you're not going to have a ton of decor, except like Christy said, they have the full-size gingerbread house, which they do here in all the resorts in Orlando as well, and they do them in Epcot. I think one of the resorts, I don't know if they still do it, but one of them, like, they actually serve stuff from it. It was so big that they would serve like hot chocolate and things. Yeah, the Grand Floridian, they've served stuff from inside of it. Crazy. Oh yeah, Boardwalk does the gingerbread carousel. So yeah. So if you really want to spend a lot of money, come down to Disney World for Christmas and spend every last dollar you have, because they will be very happy to take it from you. And of course, cruises are an absolute premium. Christmas week, New Year's week, that is the absolute premium. It's actually slightly cheaper to go at Thanksgiving. So if you want to go on a Christmas inspired cruise, you can go on Thanksgiving cruise, and that's when the decorations start to come out. Like usually you get on the ship on Saturday, there's nothing there, and by the time you get off the ship, the whole ship has kind of started transforming into Christmas. It's kind of cool to watch. So we really did enjoy that. But yeah, this is awesome. But yeah, oh my goodness gracious, we've already gone an hour. So we schedule these things for 1 hour, especially on Wednesday nights, because it is 7 p.m. It's going on 8 o'clock here on the East Coast. And if you did not see it earlier, it is actually our anniversary. So we are going to be making a small anniversary dinner. The reason why we did this tonight, even though it's our anniversary, is because we did go to Disney World last night. We went to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party last night, which was awesome. Hey, good to see you, Andy. Thank you for joining in. Maybe we'll see you next week. And remember, on Saturday, I always forget to make the graphic for it, but on Saturdays, we have our we're live at 10:30 in the morning on our TikTok channel every Saturday morning at 10:30. And actually this week we are going to be live from Animal Kingdom, because our dear friend Stephanie was part of the team that did the all new Nemo show that's going on over there. She did a lot of the artwork over there, and she wants to show us the show. So we're going to meet her over there. And since we're going to meet her over there at Animal Kingdom, we're going to do our 10:30 a.m. live show from Animal Kingdom. We're planning to be right there by the Tree of Life, so that should be a lot of fun. So if you are around on Saturday mornings at 10:30 in the morning, come over and join us over there on TikTok. And thank you, Kelly. Really appreciate it. We're going to make some shrimp. We're going to make some shrimp tonight. Yay. And then eat some of that 6 pounds of candy that we brought home from last night. So it's going to be a great anniversary. We'll still be up tomorrow morning. So thank you, everybody, for joining in tonight. I hope you all are having fun. We're having fun doing this. And we'll be here next Wednesday at 7 p.m. and Saturday morning, 10:30 on our TikTok channel. If you're around, please come on over and join us over there. Like I said, we will be in the in Animal Kingdom, and hopefully we'll see you then. So wherever you are tonight, please have yourself a fabulous evening. We thank you so much for your support. We'll see you here next Wednesday. We'll see you Saturday from the Animal Kingdom. Have a good night, everybody. See you later. Thanks for joining us.